Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman. This is video 116 and it's Friday, September 9th. This is a left-leaning liberal YouTube channel with mystical overtones. I do commentary, I share pieces of the political news that I think are relevant, and then I do runes readings on what's going on, and much more. What do I do when I'm not here? I am the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. It's called My Left Ear, by the way, because I get information, psychic information from this side. And that title just kind of came naturally to me. And when I'm not doing this, I'm an author, I write books, but I also help people. I do private sessions where I sometimes combine hypnotherapy and psychic coaching, and sometimes I just do psychic coaching. And if you want to know about it, look in the description below and in the community section. And if you want to email me, my emails are in both areas, and I can send you a one sheet on services and pricing. So here we go. I have a new Patreon that went up 2 days ago. I put up a new Patreon. You should check it out. And this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm wearing my poppy dress because I'm on my way to a wedding in Santa Barbara. And I hope it's not too hot. All right, so here we go. As you all know by now, there was a blockbuster. And the blockbuster is days old, which is that documents were discovered out of what was taken out of Mar-a-Lago, and I call it Mar-a-Fargo sometimes, that has nuclear information. We don't have details about what information is in there. We don't know if it was shared, if it was just being held. We don't know yet. But the DOJ was deceived, because the DOJ, as you know by now, was told, you've got everything, there's nothing nuclear here, but there was. And it is thought that this was all discovered through an insider who just was upset and wanted to let the FBI and the DOJ know about the documents with nuclear information. That issue is still a little, it happened, it's true, but the details are a little still unclear and foggy. Now, in a previous video, when Judge Cannon came out and pretty much blocked the DOJ and the FBI, and insisted on the special master, but shut down all their activities, I did come online and I said, this judge's stunt will backfire. Almost every, well, not almost, every reputable attorney has criticized her document, declaration, whatever you want to call it, I'm not an attorney, as just one of the worst written pieces they've ever seen, nonsensical. And I said that this is gonna follow her entire career. She is never gonna get out from underneath this awful position that she created. She's appears to be very much a partisan hack, and got in because of her age, got a lifetime appointment. Now she wants to go to the Supreme Court. She doesn't have the gravitas, she doesn't have the smarts, she doesn't have the experience, but she's a member of the Federalist Society. So she's got some tough things coming up for her that have already, started to come down the pike. A couple of days of everybody speculating whether the DOJ and Merrick Garland would appeal, causing more time. But I'll tell you what, privately, when I wasn't here with you, I thought Merrick Garland is 2 or 3 steps ahead of her. He has so many years experience, and probably nothing he hasn't seen. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but he has never lost he's never lost a fight. He wins. He wins. All right. So now the FBI and the DOJ put out this utterly brilliant response to Judge Cannon. Everybody's saying, okay, this is like an amazing piece of legal writing that they put out. And they are saying that Judge Eileen Cannon's ruling will stymie their efforts to identify and recover the most top secret files missing from the empty folders in Trump's desk. Judge Cannon, is creating a national security emergency. And she's, kind of on the brink of ruining her whole career. The thought is she's going to back down. Now, when the DOJ, well, it was the DOJ that put forth this appeal, it's giving her like a little Twinkie in there where she can back off and save face with a little bit of grace. They're doing that on purpose to give her that out, so she doesn't have this terrible decision ruling follow her around forever and ever and ever. So they did write the brilliant rebuttal, and if need be, they will appeal to the 11th District Court, and it is believed they will win in the 11th District Court. But the DOJ is giving her an out, and we'll see if she is smart, because if she's smart, she will take the out and move on. Politico wrote, the Justice Department is seeking to overturn federal judge's ruling that blocked investigators from reviewing a range of highly sensitive documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago estate. So the prosecutor said in a new court filing that the U.S. District Court Judge Eileen Cannon's decision to temporarily halt the FBI's ability to probe the ex-president's handling and storage of classified materials would cause irreparable harm, here we go again, to efforts by the intelligence community to protect national security interests. So this blew up in her face. It's bigger than her, it's bigger than politics. It's nuclear information that got leaked, and we don't know enough. All right, so I pulled a rune like a day ago, and I asked, will Garland prevail? Will Merrick Garland and the DOJ prevail through this gridlock that just happened? And yes, I'm going to read you what the runes are, but I'm going to say, yeah, this was a very clear reading. It wasn't confusing. It's not confusing. So the first rune is the rune of fertility, which is about new beginnings. So it's like the new beginnings on the probe. It's akin to the moon and the intuitive part of our nature. It's the completion of beginnings. Now, I find that fascinating under these circumstances, because when the DOJ gets past this disastrous ruling by Judge Cannon, it will be a new beginning for them to move forward. So that was very accurate. The completion of beginnings, which means it's a new start for the DOJ case. It's a time of joyful deliverance with calm certainty. Calm certainty. Then the second rune, the rune of wholeness, life force, the sun's energy. It's an impulse towards self-healing. And the U.S. needs self-healing. It needs healing from Trump. And it's a path you must follow. And of course, this is a calling, for Merrick Garland. He has a calling, this man. Path you must follow, a time of regeneration. Any kind of withdrawal is a withdrawal in strength. So if there seems to be a backing off by the DOJ, they're not really backing off. They're going inward and working. They're not the kind of DOJ that is going to share a lot of things. They haven't been. So this rune discusses opening up and letting the light into a dark situation. And so the truth and discovery would be the light, okay? Aim yourself truly. That's from Merrick Garland. Maintain your aim. Keep your eye on the ball without any manipulation. They won't need manipulation because the truth is on their side. And Merrick Garland's extreme legal skills and background. And then the last one is very interesting. It's the rune called Unknowable. It's the blank rune. So there's nothing on it. It's a rune that's just blank on both sides. A little bit mysterious, but it is connected to the divine. So it says it is the end and it is the beginning. So the obstacle and then the gateway. The obstacle and then the opening, all right? And it speaks of your immediate contact with your own true destiny. And my left ear added a note that Garland is the chosen one in this respect. He's chosen to break precedent and indict a former president for the first time in the history of the United States. So this is his calling. He may not have wanted it, but he's the man, and this is his calling. And so this rune says the blankness holds undiluted potential, calls for an act of courage. I imagine indicting the president for the ex-president for the first time is an act of courage. Nobody wants to do it. But it is like empty-handed, leaping into the void. But I want to say not empty-handed. But it represents the path of karma, and it speaks to the total sum of Trump's actions and now their consequences. Something that nobody thought would happen, that he would ever experience consequences. So he hasn't yet, but the prediction is here, and I'm feeling very confident. Now, the other thing that's interesting is this whole thing with the special master and this awful ruling by Aileen. It's happening during Mercury retrograde. So, that's a little challenging. That's not always challenging, because sometimes things from the old come forward and it's very positive. All right, so I'm going to move on from the DOJ and Trump because that's gonna work itself out. Breaking in Michigan. Michigan Supreme Court, in a 5-2 decision, ordered the reproductive freedom for all measure placed on the ballot after the Board of State Canvassers deadlocked. So the measure will enshrine abortion rights into the state's constitution, and it would be irrevocable by SCOTUS or Congress. It means turning it over to the people. So right now, just so you know, South Carolina Senate rejects near total abortion ban. That's according to MSNBC. Michigan Supreme Court orders abortion rights initiative to be put on the state election ballot. This is good. Now moving on, Georgia, our problem state. There was a data breach. There is an investigation. And a woman, what's her name? Oh, I don't have her name in here. But anyway, her name is, no, excuse me, sorry. This was set up by the crazy Sidney Powell, okay? So on January 7th, she led the false elector into the election office in Coffee County, Georgia, where they copied a wide range of data from the country's voting systems for a reported fee of $26,000. Means they were paid to do this. This is according to the Washington Post. I see. Kathy Latham is the county's former GOP chairwoman and one of the Republicans who signed on to the false slate of electors in Georgia. She let those operatives into the office that day. That's a big deal. that's being investigated. Sidney Powell, Kathy Latham, and others are going to be in trouble. So, you know, last night I just picked out one rune for a few people that are in question. I pulled a rune for Ron DeSantis. I really want this guy to be voted out of Florida, voted off the United States, voted off the planet. But at any rate, I got the rune of initiation. And it says there's something hidden. Now, I have said this for a while. I can always be wrong. This was my left ear, that I just felt some secrets are going to come out about him, or there is something hidden, and this sort of supports it. But right now, DeSantis has a 3-point lead over Charlie Crist. And we really want to get Charlie Crist into the governorship in Florida. He's really close. He's running a good campaign, and he's saying important things. And whenever you get The View, Charlie Crist is on The View today, and you can also look it up on YouTube and watch him. I'm missing it right now. Stacey Abrams, Georgia, the governor's race. Now, she got the rune of opening, which is positive. It's literally an opening, which means she has a chance. But inexplicably, right now, that crooked Kemp, who is the governor, has a 4-point lead over Stacey Abrams. We've got about 60 days, and with the rune of opening, I'm hoping and praying she can, you know, move past him like Seabiscuit and win by a length. But right now, as of today, not the case. Marcus Flowers, you know, I really thought that he probably would beat Margie Taylor Greene, but honestly, as probably everybody would admit to you that makes predictions, we can get our own emotions involved. Have to be very, very careful. So I looked it up, and she is actually expected to be the winner because there are a few people like Matt Gaetz and Boebert and Marjorie that are in states that are redder than the red in my dress. I mean red. So it doesn't look good for Marcus Flowers. And like I said, probable wins, Gaetz, Boebert, and Marjorie. I'm going to go back to it. We've got 60 days. I'm just watching and sharing as we go along. And then my own opinion that we need a lot of reform. We need oversight for the Supreme Court, for Congress. We need term limits. We need better checks and balances, because there is no one, there's nothing that could call this judge, Cannon, on the carpet for this horrific, partisan, crazy judgment she made, trying to shut down the FBI and the DOJ. You know, what department can shut down such an investigation? So we really need oversight. We need checks and balances. We need to do some work. The world according to my left ear. All right. Good evidence. So I had a little angel last week that showed up. It was 105 degrees, not comfortable, even with air conditioning in the car. And I knew I had to stop by the alterations lady for another dress that I thought was going to wear to the wedding, but the mother of the bride said she wanted me to wear this one. But anyway, I was supposed to go to alteration. It was so hot. I went, no, I'm just going to get home, because the alterations is right near my house. But I played in my head, and I was like, oh, just go. And the reason I'm explaining this to you, because it shows how a little snap judgment can cause a problem. It's the timing. So I made a U-turn, and I go. Now I walk into the alterations, and it's a dry cleaning and alterations, and the woman has very good English, but she has a thick accent. She's very, like, big, you know, kind of like Stacey Abrams big. And I'm thinking maybe she was from Russia or the Ukraine by her accent and her look, but I didn't ask her. But she was she is a master. So what she did was she took my black and white dress and she laid it out, And I told her what the problem was, that there was too much of a flare on the bottom, and it made me look like I was trying to be 16 years old. So she did like, a friend of mine calls it alteration geometry. It's not original. My friend Ida called it that. Where she folded and she showed me, look at, this is what it's gonna look like. It was like wild. She didn't even need me to try the dress on, but when she was looking at the dress and sizing it up, I saw a master at work, and I thought, don't say anything. She knows what she's doing. She's really figuring it out, and she did. So she was a little bit expensive. I asked her if she might consider a little discount. She said, well, if you pay me cash, I can do that. And I said, great. We like made friends, and I offered her a lot of respect because I said, well, you know what? I got the dress on sale, and I love it, and it's worth it to me to pay your alterations. I don't want to go running around. I see you really know what you're doing. And she liked that. She liked the respect I paid her. All right, so now I go out. I'm glad I did it. It's really hot. Now, I'm not really stressed, but I'm very hot, and I want to get home. I start to pull out, and it's really a narrow parking lot. It's not a good parking lot to back out into, but I'm looking, I'm slow, and guess what? I feel a bump. And I look up, and there's like a bumper right next to my bumper. Boom. So it was a very light tap. Get out of my car, and there's a young couple, like in their 20s, and they're like, I don't know, they're all in black. They've got a lot of tattoos. They've got rings. They've got piercings. And the young woman who was driving with her black hair and her mink eyelashes and her tons of makeup and just screaming at me like a real street kind of chick. And I'm like looking at her. What? I was yelling at you. Couldn't you hear me? I was, no, obviously I couldn't hear you because nobody wants to have this happen. Well, I said, it was, you could hardly see anything. Oh no, look what you did. And now the bumper, there's a space. And I went, oh, really? Well, I didn't go really. I didn't have attitude. I just went, really? And they went off on me. We have witnesses, blah, blah. And I said, would you calm down? I'm not arguing with you. I'm here. I'm going to give you my driver's license. Calm down. So now the alterations lady, who, reminding you, is built like Stacey Abrams. She is solid, this woman, and she's about 5'8" or 9. She comes out and she just stands there watching this with her hands on her hip. So I see her and I say to the chick who's going off on me, I said, no, we have a witness. That's my friend. My friend saw it. And so Karen, either the Russian or the Ukrainian lady, I don't know, I'll find out. She goes, what's all this fuss about? All you need to do is exchange information and driver's license and go home. Just exchange the information and go home. She like took over. And she actually said to them, I don't even see damage. She comes over and says, there's not even any damage. I said, we're going to do the right thing. Let's just give them their stuff. And they calmed down. They got my information. They calmed down. And I thanked her because she literally kind of saved me. They were very intimidated by her. She was that kind of lady. And so she was my good evidence. Went back to get my dress. She did a beautiful job on it. And she said, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, yeah, because you know what? You really helped me. She goes, well, I didn't like what was going on. I didn't like the way that young woman was acting. And I just thought you needed some help. And she said, it seemed like after I came out, she just backed off and they drove away. So when I went driving home, my left ear said to me, they may not even report this. I just had this weird feeling. I read that she had a $500 deductible. So I did the right thing. I called Geico, talked to a really nice guy, and he goes, they may not even follow through with this if it's as lightweight as you say. And I said, yeah. He said, so don't do anything. Don't report this online. Just if we hear from them, we will call you. And I said, okay, great. And I still haven't heard a thing. So that, God bless the alterations lady, Karen, love her. She was my savior. And that's why I told the story, because she really helped me. And then the second evidence story is, and then I have to go because I got to get ready for for my trip to Santa Barbara. I went into a store that I often go into, and gave the sales clerk, a young female, my card, and it didn't go through. And she goes, "Oh, it didn't go through." And then she started to get nervous. I could see her getting nervous. And I said, "You know what, that's okay. You probably put in one digit that wasn't correct. And I have a little dyslexia with numbers." And she just kind of like relaxed. She goes, "You do?" And I went, "Oh yeah, I'm always transposing numbers wrong." It's like, try it again. She goes, "Well, I've had dyslexia my whole life, and it's really rough, and I had to go over my homework 3 times when I was growing up." And she just relaxed, and she said, "I've had it ever since I was a little girl." So of course the credit card went through because she relaxed, and we're finishing up, and she says to me, "You know, of all the people who come in here, you're my favorite customer." And I said, "Really?" And she said, "Yeah, because you're very kind. You're a very kind person." And I'm sharing that with you guys because I just knew you'd appreciate it, because I talk about kindness all. So I told her, I said, that is like the best thing anybody could say to me. And just an adorable girl, and it was such a nice exchange. And this is the kind of stuff I love, where it's humanity, contacting humanity. You know, those little intimate moments that maybe to someone else might not seem like anything. So I have a quote that feels very appropriate for right now in our history. And the quote is from 1882, and it's from playwright Oscar Wilde. He said, "The Americans are certainly great hero worshipers and always take their heroes from the criminal classes." I'm having trouble talking today. "The Americans are certainly great hero worshipers and always take their heroes from the criminal classes." Interesting, isn't it? And we're looking at hero worship right now with Trump and Putin on his side, and it's kind of a true. It's amazing these things that were written such a long time ago. So everything repeats itself. All right, I'm going to go to the wedding. Wish me luck. Hope to eat some good food, meet some new people, have a good time. Santa Barbara is beautiful. So peace and blessings. Make peace, make good memories, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.